Hey, I want to talk about an accident on the Nenana River where I worked for a very long time for a whitewater rafting company. It's probably one of the biggest lessons I ever learned about rafting and boating. And if you're a boater and you get out on rivers and kayak, rafting, anything on swift water and moving water, here's a lesson. And here's what I witnessed, and I was there the whole 2 days for this rescue. What happened was a family came up from Anchorage. It's always a weekender, somebody who's just out for the weekend. And we're on that river every day, so we're watching things all the time. And somebody said, hey, there's people going down the river with their canoes tied together. All right, so first tip here, right in the middle of this video, is never tie boats together on a river. And here's what happened. It was a family. They were split up between two canoes. They had them tied together. It was mom, dad, kids, uncle, aunt, and they were going down the river. Now there's a bridge in the middle, or bridge that crosses the river with abutments, and that's what keeps the bridge from falling down. Underneath, the water goes around those abutments, and as a raft guide or a water person, you want to stay away from those abutments. They have all sorts of hydraulics that can keep you in there. It's real dangerous. So you go around those as a boater. These people had their canoes tied together, and as they went around, they just got sideways, and then they got wrapped around the abutment of the bridge, the two canoes, which immediately flipped them over. Everybody's in the water, all the gear, everything. So the family actually made it over aside. Everybody made it over to the side of the river, and the boats were wrapped around the abutment, and there was a bunch of stuff falling out, and the dad decided he's going to jump in after, I think it was a video camera or some case that he saw. So he jumped in, and this is cold water. It comes off a glacier. Guy's in there. He's going down, and the cubic feet per second is about 19,000. So that just gives you an idea. It's a big river, and you just can't swim in it. You can't swim in these rivers. So he's going to swim out there, and he gets caught in the current, goes down. The family is freaking. They run up to the highway, notify somebody. We get a rescue in order. All the raft companies come together. There's about 5 raft companies. And we're out immediately looking for this guy. Now, here's my story, and what happened to me in this whole thing is I wasn't even working that day. I was down at a rapid called Two Rocks, where I actually hung out a lot, and I was just down there hanging around. It was kind of my hideout spot. And Two Rocks is a pretty good rapid, and I'm standing there, and it's kind of late afternoon, and I see something floating by, and I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, well, we get logs, we get debris going down the river all the time. So it didn't even faze me. I just remember seeing something, and this is about 2 miles down from where the accident happened. So I see people looking around later on as I'm heading back up toward the resort where this all happened, and there's a rescue going on. I'm like, and they said, hey, a guy fell out, and I said I saw something, but I see stuff going. It probably wasn't him, and so they took on to that right away, and people headed way downstream, way downriver, and to see if maybe that was him, and he's down there somewhere. And so at this point, I'm getting really involved in this rescue. And the family's there, and they come up to me and they say, what did you see? I said, I don't know. Usually it's just debris going down, but we're just going to check it out. So I jumped in a van, one of the rafting company vans, started driving around, and they came with me. And the family and we went down to where I saw things going by, in the river maybe. And then we went all the way down. We spent the whole evening. We were up till 1 a.m. looking. It was just too dark. Called off the rescue till morning. And then they fired it up again. This went on for about a week. I never saw the wife and the kid and that family I was driving around again. It was just, called off. It was called off eventually. But what happened was 6 months later, and this is in the fall, October, the river's not frozen yet, and about 50 miles downriver, they found a body. They found the guy in an eddy in a swirling section of the river. So this was we'd already almost not forgotten, but, sort of went back to our lives. I know the family was probably still reeling from this whole thing, probably to this day. And but they did find his body in October, and that's when things start to freeze up. So in a way, it was a great thing they found him. They had resolve, that he didn't just get washed out into the ocean somewhere. Hey man, lots of these water stories coming up. I spent a long time on that river, so please like and subscribe and hang out, listen to these videos if you like them, and we'll be up with the next one real soon. Thanks for watching.